Welcome back, everybody.
I'm not ready.
He's not ready. Okay, sorry, we're stopping the video. Okay, so it's Edwin the Magic Engineer, and we got Mike over here, formerly
Mike as well. I've always been Mike. I don't know what he's talking about.
Before he was born, he was not Mike. He was nameless.
I've always been the Mike, the boss monster of non-existence, of pre-existence. No, I'm Mike Hatchett, formerly known as the Magic Historian, formerly known as Purp, formerly known as MTG Purple.
Yep, so I just wanted to do another video. We just did another one that you guys hopefully saw a couple days ago. I'll have it in a link below in the channel. But this is just, he's too much fun to talk to, and I didn't want to end it there, but I needed a quick break to go see how my daughter's doing with her homework and everything. But I had to come back and ask him these last couple questions. So, Mike, I would love to hear about some of your origin story, the superhero story. How did you get started in Magic the Gathering? Like, what brought you into it?
What brought me into Magic the Gathering? Well, some of my friends in high school, actually, one of my friends in high school brought another guy over to my place who I couldn't stand at first, but we ended up becoming good friends. Anyhow, he brought over a massive box of Magic the Gathering, and I remember I was making fun of them while they were playing. I'm like, you guys are cheating. You're not even using all 5 colors. What the hell's the matter with you? Like, just doing what I do. And
you have to use all 5 colors.
Yeah, and so I just hassling them, because that's what I do. I hassle people. So
yeah,
I get bored of that, and I wander over and start looking through the cards, and I'm like, meh, whatever. And then I see Personal Incarnation, and I see that wizard with his staff creating a pure being of his own, like, will, and it's crashing and crushing people. Yeah. And I was a tiny little dude in high school, and so that being able to project yourself physically as a big hulking guy, not gonna be able to pick on me or whatever kind of thing, was like, wow, that's dope. I love magic, like wizardry kind of stuff. So that made me decide to go, hey, you know what? I like the flavor concept of this. Maybe I'll actually get into the game. So I picked up a starter deck, and I fell in love with grizzly bears, man. Try and run up a tree, punk. They're gonna get you. And then crawlworm. Oh my god,
yeah, crawlworm was tough.
I got my hands on like 10 to 12 Sol Rings and like 20 Crawworms, and I played second turn Crawgeddon, and it was just, that's not with Armageddon, I just mean literally, here come all the Crawworms, they're gonna get you. And it's like, for me, that was like the beginning, right? And then it was just like every day I was thinking about Magic, like constantly, just boom. I would be sitting at home playing one-man variants, like it was just gimme. So that was where I started, and then from there, like the combination of that, the flavor of the game pulled me in. Kicking the hell out of people, just smacking them around, kept me in. That kept me in, and the fact that like you could trade for the things that you wanted, and I'm really good at an exchange barter kind of setup. So I was able to build up my collection and increase what I owned for virtually nothing. Like I would be at one end of the game store, and I would be like, "Yo, I want Vesuvan Doppelganger," and the guy would be like, do you have Inferno? And I'd be like, no, sorry, bro, I don't have Inferno. And then I'd go like to the other end of the store, and this guy had Infernos in his binder, and I'm like, oh my god, I want these Infernos, like, and he's just like, oh, he's like, well, I was like, well, would you take a doppel? Like, I was like, yo, you got 3 Infernos here. Would you take a doppelganger for these 3 Infernos? And the guy's like, yeah, I do that. And then I'd walk back to the other end of the store where that other guy was, and I'd be like, yo, you got 3 doppelgangers. Would you be willing to take an Inferno for those 3 doppelgangers? And the guy's like, yeah, sure. And I'd be like, sweet, let me have those 3 doppelgangers, and I'll be right back with your Infernos. And I walk down to the other guy, give him 1 doppelganger, take the 3 Infernos, walk back, give the other guy the Inferno, and I'm up 2 doppelgangers, 2 Infernos. And I built a massive collection of cards that way, right? Where it was just like asking people, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, what do you want? And also, I'm a relentless when I want something. Absolutely relentless. I remember once I wanted a strip mine from somebody, and I gave my binder to look through, and he's just looked through, and he's like, there's nothing I want. And I'm like, that's not an option. Look through again. And he just looked through again.
That's not an option.
You don't understand. You're trading me the strip mine. Look again. And I did that to him like 2 more times. He's like, just take it. Just take it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm willing to give you something for it. Take it if you want, but he's just take the card. So I don't know, man. It was the combination of like.
I missed the trading, honestly. The trading was fun. That was one of my favorite parts about it.
Hell yeah, man. If the world still worked on barter, I'd already be in a castle. I would have so much stuff. Right? I would own all the goats. I'd have 70 wives. I'm a persuasive dude.
Maybe you should be on the floor of the stock market or something like that.
I thought about doing that kind of stuff, but honestly, my heart's in entertaining. That's my dream, baby.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually, that you actually get to do this like on the side. I mean, is this your main income, or is this something?
No, well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't make that much in advertising money. As you can tell, I get super chats. People hook me up with that kind of stuff. It's
well deserved too.
Oh, thank you. It's a situation where I make my money by selling Magic singles and assisting in running events, and that used to be my main source of income. And then originally I was just super happy of the concept of making maybe like $100 every couple of months off my channel. To me, that was amazing. Now, it's certainly not paying all my bills because it is very, like, 10% of the money I make off my channel is the ad revenue. You know what I mean? So if you like, if that gives you any kind of like,
wow, 10%,
20%,
it does. That's awesome.
Most of what I get is just like fan appreciation cash. So I mean, and it floors me that they love me this much and hook me that. But
you're an interesting guy. I totally see why.
Well, thanks, man. It's but it's not like, it's not something where I would feel comfortable right now. Like, obviously, for the other reasons that I listed about not leaving the LGS before in the video and everything, not in our videos here that we're talking about, but when I talked about stepping away from Magic in my video, for if none of those reasons existed, I would still be uncomfortable walking away from Magic right now, because the YouTube channel in no way provides enough money to fully take care of me and my disabled lady. It's not. It's like the dream is to get there, and I'm totally willing to put in all the work because I'm not driven by the money. So I figure if I just keep entertaining, keep cracking at it, I'll get to the point where I can literally just be a full-time entertainer, and that is my dream.
You know, something that's a solid possibility is, like, there's people out there, like YouTubers that you know, that started in Magic, built up a fan base, then made like a secondary channel, and if even like half of the people from their main channel go over to that secondary one for like topics that are at least somewhat related, then that channel is kind of free to do its own artistic thing, right? Maybe.
I have a second channel.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I don't think I'm subscribed to it.
With over 1,000 subscribers, I need 700 more hours of watch time, and that one's monetized as well. So yeah, it's actually, I've already, like, I renamed my channel Me, and now I'm not even bound to games anymore. See, people come along and go, oh, your games channel. No, I'm Mike Hatcher now, and I'm going to talk about whatever I'm passionate about. I mean, I did that. I pretty much accidentally did that stream on Stan Lee because people came into my stream when it was supposed to be about Diablo and Magic the Gathering, and the stream was just starting, and everyone was talking about Stan Lee, and the news floored me. So I changed the name of the stream because I knew we were all going to be talking about it anyways. I got all emotional. We all got all emotional. Like 9,000 people came by in a couple of hours. So if I wanted to just go ahead and talk about, like, I did a stream this morning where I cooked bacon, and it's just called Cooking Bacon and Chatting, right?
Yeah.
And 1,000 people stopped by for that. Wow. Like, I didn't have 1,000 people in the chat room, but just in terms of views during the course of the time it was running. So some of them people may be being double counted or whatever, popping in or out. But either way, that's a considerable amount. So I don't feel tied to Magic the Gathering. I don't feel like I need to have a tangentially connected channel, but I also feel that I am not the majority of YouTubers in that I'm genuinely entertaining, and it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. I can make it worth your while to sit and stay a while and listen.
Yeah. Diablo reference, I love it. Yeah, so I'm honestly kind of split on it because, like, I've really enjoyed watching your channel for Magic the Gathering content. So from that respect, I'm sad to see you like leave that topic behind. But on the other hand, I'm glad to see people succeed at things, just in general, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's fun to see them succeeding.
Dude, there's a number of people who have expressed the same feelings where they're like, I want you to be free and do what you want to do, but at the same time, I genuinely miss that you're going to be doing the Magic content. And I realize that there is a true need for what I was doing in terms of old Magic history and lore is almost non-existent. Some of the stories that I tried to gain additional research information on, you just couldn't. Some of the stuff that's in this book, couldn't find anything about it online. Nothing. So I'm literally the only one videos on. But at the end of the day, my disgust with wizards and everything makes it so that I can't get over it. Like, this is not what they are anymore. And when I get people hyped about it, they're giving wizards money, and it's untenable.
That's why I'm honestly hoping at some point when you get past your frustration with them, if you do return to Magic in any sense at all, I hope you return in like the old school kind of format, the nostalgia kind of format, meeting people that are kind of like in our demographic, like, and I don't mean like male and white, and I don't mean
you mean just older Magic players who've been around
the people that have been doing it for all these years, and like all of us have that same feeling. Like, if one of us lightning bolts the other one, and then you look at it and it's like a beta bolt, everyone at the table's like, oh, dude, that's such a sweet card. And then we all
yeah.
got stories about it that we tell, and how when we bought our first bolt, and people talk about their favorite creature. Like you were talking about the craw worm. Daniel Chang loves the Force of Nature. That's absolutely his favorite card. Like,
I love that
down.
too, man. That was the card I would double ante for. When my Force came up and ante, doubled. Screw you, man.
Yep.
Force or Berserk, double ante. If you want a funny lightning bolt story, I actually played a 20-player game of Magic when I was a wee, obnoxious little 15-year-old. I sat down at the table, and I don't know which one of these jerk-offs were the first one to say it, but somebody started pounding the table going, kill Hatcher, and it just turned into everybody at the table chanting.
Like,
bang,
like
bang,
not in a
bang.
friendly way, like kill this little MFN kid.
Like, wipe this kid out of the game. So basically, first 7 people who went, every single person, Mountain Bolt Hatcher, Mountain Bolt Hatcher, Mountain Bolt Hatcher, and I was knocked out of the game. 7 bolts to the dome. I didn't even get a turn.
That sucks.
It was funny, actually. I don't care.
I'm glad you laughed at it. I would have been a little pissed.
Well, the thing is I'm a 15-year-old boy, and all these adults are already afraid of me, you see. That's why they want me out of the game. I'm annoying, but I'm also a massive threat who's grabbed these adults and gone, psh, 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 psh. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's right. I'll see you the next time I smack you around like a...
So I had this one kind of big moment for myself when I was first starting. I was all into red-green when I first started. And after I had gotten myself a decent deck with like Urnam Jins and stuff like that, and I think I'd splashed some white in there, I went up to Redding, California, and because my 2 cousins that were both younger than me, they were the ones that got me started in the game. And we went to a local shop, and there was this guy, like I'm sure you can picture the guy, like a good 150 pounds overweight, probably hasn't showered in like a week, has every card you can imagine out there, and I just wanted to play a game. And he was like, oh, play. And it was just kind of this attitude like, this kid doesn't know he's challenging, right? Yeah. And so we started playing this game, and he set out like it was like the 2/1 first striker. I can't think of the name. 1 green, 1 colorless.
Elvish Archer's baby.
Elvish Archer. There we go. Yeah, so he played an Elvish Archer, and then like just a couple turns in, he attacked, and he like Berserk, Giant Growth, Bloodlust, Berserk, and he just like laid all these spells on. Yeah. But the thing was, because he was just like all arrogant, like this kid doesn't have a chance. But then I was like, wait a minute. It's last in, first out, right? And everyone around was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I haven't had a chance to respond. You just set all those down. And so like the first one he did, like I think on the stack, was like basically a Bloodlust or something like that. So I'm like lightning bolt, and then everyone had to kind of stop and be like, oh wait, last in, first out. Oh yeah, your creature's dead. And then like all of his cards were gone out of his hand, and so I ended up winning that game.
You got the win, man.
Yeah, and it was this big moment for me because my cousins had got me started. And this guy was like top dog at the shop, and just because I knew enough about the game, I didn't let him just crush me. And so that we went home like feeling like we just got this big score, or we just stole something or something like that.
Yeah.
And that really energized me to kind of keep getting into the game, right?
Bro, that's awesome. I remember the one arrogant guy I dealt with in my play group. Actually, the guy who I said became a good friend of mine, who at first rubbed me the wrong way. We were playing for ante, okay? And my Berserk was on the line, all right? And he had me so outclassed. I'm playing just a straight green, 140 card, terrible deck. And he's playing clone, Mahamoti, Vesuvian Doppelganger, counter, like craziness. Yeah. So he's got me so under his thumb that he's taking multiple victory laps where he's just creating tons and tons of Mahamotis and doing all this, right?
And meanwhile, like I'm just attacking. He was just like not attacking.
He was just playing with me, right? Because he knew he had me beat. I'm playing. First of all, you got, think about this. We're talking old school Magic, and you're playing a blue deck against a straight green deck. You know that before Biorhythm came along, green auto loses to blue. Good luck, chump. You're done. You're screwed, right? Yeah. So he had me completely under his thumb. I'm sitting there with like a green mana battery, charging it and trying to put out grizzly bears and stuff that are getting mana drained and all, like mana drained, okay? He's mana draining my grizzly bears, and I'm sitting there like, okay, well, I'll do this and whatever. And I just built up an insane amount on my green mana battery. So he taps all this mana to make a bunch more Mahamotis, and I'm like, okay, my turn. And then I go and I tap the green mana vault, and I'm like, 30-point hurricane. Your guys are all dead, and we're both dead. It's a tie. And he's like, what? No, because he was already counting on owning that Berserk. He was super stoked about it. So he's like, no, if the game's a tie, you have to play for the same ante. And I'm like, as I've read the rule book inside and out, I don't recall that. You want to show me? And he grabs the rule book and he's going through and he's like, oh, cool, blah, blah, he'll tell you. I'm like, that's not how it works. Show me in the rule book. Didn't think you could. Pick the Berserk up, back into the deck, and I'm like, and we're not playing anymore. So long. And then like 2 weeks later, I was the guy winning tournaments. All right. And from that point on, he couldn't beat me. He doesn't actually remember the time when he decimated me, because it was a tiny window. And for the next number of years, I was the god of Magic in my
I'm
area.
sure he just blacked
Nobody could step to me. It was totally like, he's like, yeah, I don't remember really winning against Mike either. Like when I would lose games, people would accuse me of throwing the match if I didn't show them my hand. If I went and shuffled my hand back, and they would, don't let me win. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I can't help that I'm this much better than you at the game. Relax. You got that win legitimately. Calm the hell down.
Wow, so you were pretty dominant pretty quick right off the bat.
I was absolutely dominant,
and
dude.
You said you were like 15 when you started?
2 tournaments and scrubbed out. I scrubbed out my first 2 tournaments, and the third tournament I showed up with this cobbled together time twister thing. Actually, there's a video on my channel, my $30,000 deck. That's the first deck that I won a tournament with. The bigger cards were like, it had like a lotus and a pearl in it, but the concept was the restricted list at each store was different, right? So I was able to play 4 time twisters. And originally what I wanted to do was Time Twister Regrowth. I remember I was walking to school when the Time Twister Regrowth combo clicked into my brain, and I stopped walking. I was like, Time Twister plus Regrowth equals infinite. And then like Tormod's Crypt plus Swords to Plowshares equals their stuff slowly going away, put in some millstones, and I just built the deck. And then I went down to the event, and I played with it. Slighted Life Force to whatever color they're playing, with a hollow tree setup and a candelabra ready to untap it to stop whatever they had coming. And I crushed everybody, won a box, and I was just like, oh! And from that point on, it just got worse because I had access to more and more cards. I decimate at card games. I joined L5R because I could see the game was numerically broken just from looking at one deck box and one card in the display case. I asked a question to one guy, and I was like, yo, does this mean what I think it means? Are dragons wizards? And he said yes. And I'm like, this group right here is the most busted thing in the world. And I built a deck just out of commons and stuff I could cobble together. Won the first tournament I played in, beating everybody. Took the stuff I got from that, traded it, and built an unbeatable deck to the point where every week they would come in and have conferences on how to beat me. And they couldn't, because there's just some games it's already, this is the most busted thing you can do. You can't beat it.
So you probably ran into the same thing. I ran into some of that because like I don't think I had that level of dominance, but I was definitely pretty good and I was known in my area. But what happened was like when I kept beating all my friends, eventually they just didn't want to play anymore. And that actually kind of sucked because like it's, you know, we were still friends and everything. They just didn't want to play Magic with me because they would just constantly lose. Yeah. So my whole opinion started shifting. And I talk about this on my channel a lot. Like when I play EDH games, I intentionally, like I don't play, it's not Commander. No, EDH. Like I've got Moxes and Dual Lands and all that in my EDH deck. And I play like traditional EDH. But I specifically make the deck to be beatable, but fun. And that's a hard balance to hit because I want to be able to cast my cards. And when I get them on the table, like I want to have that moment of joy, and I just want to enjoy that experience. Yep. But I want it to be beatable. So like the typical thing I'll do is I'll make the deck like capable of doing like infinite mana, but there's like no counter magic at all. And so like a single disenchant will blow apart my combo.
Yeah, you give them an out, and that's fair. I mean, when it comes to Commander and EDH, it's a more like fun kind of format. Part of the reason I never built decks for that is I found myself building very unfun, aggressive, like, what are you doing? That's not the spirit of this format. So I totally feel you there, bro.
Yeah, you should totally watch that video I made, like where I posted like my current EDH deck. And it's like, at the time I posted it, like today, it's like a $25,000 deck or something. Like at that time, it's probably like 40 now or something. Because it's got like full power 9 and like all the duels and like all these big cards. But then it's like a single shatter, like just shuts me down. And the point of the deck isn't to win. The point is like, I want to play those cards. Yeah, and I want to draw a lot of cards. I want to play Howling Mines. I want to put like mana flares on the table so everyone's got tons of mana. Because I just want to see decks just go... Right?
Yeah, dude, that's fun. That's fun. I remember how excited people used to get when a Mana Flare or Howling Mine hit the table. People would be like, yeah, and just cheer, man.
Yeah, totally. So when I started beating my friends a bunch, like my group games with my friends started leaning towards like these EDH style decks that were just fun oriented. And I still basically do that today. I don't do a lot of competitive play with my good friends because it's just... People just don't take it well. A lot of people don't know how to like win and lose without getting their attitudes in it, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I agree with that, man. I didn't have my friends refused to stop to play with me. But I did stop everybody from playing Ante. I broke Ante, and nobody would play Ante with me anymore. I was a prick about it too. So you know what I did, dude? I played Green Black, and I played Dark Pact and Sylvan Library. So I would just swap 2 swamps off my deck for the Ante, and then concede and be like, I'm taking your whole deck, let's go. Just pop 2 more swamps in, and they would get so pissed. Screw you, man.
So hey, before I end this video, I want to go to the next topic. Okay. I would love to hear about the MTG Purple. Where did that name come from? Where did Purp come from? The whole origin story.
MTG Purple really just came from the fact that my hair was dyed purple, and I remembered back in the day people had that dumb rumor where they thought that, oh my god, they're going to make a 6-color magic and it's going to be purple. So that's where the 6-color of magic and but really it was because I had my hair purple, and I dyed it purple because I was trying to bang college girls, and I know girls like that kind of, like they went, it worked real well.
Good job. So there wasn't any other thing that came up with it. I figured there would be this whole, like, I started a community and together we were the 6th color of magic, and then I named the channel after it.
Legit, I just wanted to make some videos for my boys at the game store. You have to understand, I was never meant for the internet at large in terms, from my perspective. I was just making videos, sharing them on the YouTube, like creating them on YouTube and sharing them on Facebook for my friends who went to the store. In fact, on my other channel, Hatch, when the internet found me, I deleted those videos so that people would stay away. I wasn't actually, as bizarre as it sounds, I had buried my desire to be an entertainer when I was a kid, right? Because back then you'd have to go to LA or whatever, and it was not achievable, and I don't believe in deluding yourself. So I pushed it down so hard that I forgot that I even wanted it. So when people showed up, that part of me that was protecting me shoved everybody away. And honestly, when the first outside people found my magic channel, my gut reaction was shut it down, delete this, get the hell out of here, get away from this. It was a really weird experience.
So you had to conquer that fear.
There was the notification bell with like 150 comments, and I'm like, oh, these people are going to be dreadful. You know what I mean? And then I went and looked, and so many people were so nice. It basically like overwhelmed me with positivity, where I was like, these people seem really nice. You know what? And I mentioned it to Carly, and she said, well, why don't we try making videos regularly? And we started doing them once a week for like a week or two before I was like, oh, dude, she was like, do you want to do this every day? I'm like, I do want to do this every day. And then we just literally, I was feverishly, it's like, you know, when a gay guy's been in the closet forever, and then when he comes out of the closet, he's like, oh, rub them all over me. Oh, God.
It just feels
up 10 dudes.
That freedom. Like, I can imagine that freedom and not having that weight on your shoulders anymore, right?
Yeah, that analogy is useless for your channel too. All the dads out there. I'm like a dad who just wants to hug all the kids now. Oh no, wait. He can hug all of his children. There we go. So there's an Edwin friendly analogy. But yeah, it's just I never intended for this to be a thing, but once I embraced it, it just ran off. So sorry that the MTG Purple was just an easy to slap on name, because it wasn't meant for the people. It was just, I deal with magic, I got purple hair, my boys know who I am, so if they come to the store and go, how do I find your channel? I go, my hair, just go MTG my hair. And then they, okay. Like, so sorry that there wasn't some epic whatever. Like, my boys are my community, cool. But I never called us the 6th color magic.
I really love the kind of just what it did though, and because what it became was just, you know, together we are the 6th color of magic, and at the same time you're collecting this group of people that are all kind of like-minded, they're entertained by the same kind of stuff, and you're building this community. And so like that really fit, you know, that phrase, we are the 6th color of magic, you know, as you're bringing everyone together.
It genuinely frustrates me that I have to abandon it, but I can no longer support Wizards of the Coast, and I can't have that reminder, I can't have that name. And it's too bad, because honestly, I feel like the way that I started and ended my videos were excellent to remind people. I start out by reminding them that they are luxury cardboard rectangles, right? And every video reminds them that they're the real magic. So while I don't I just can't have it as part of my channel. I need something else now. You know, I'm gonna still do that like community thing because I love it. I ban people. If people talk smack about the 6 color clips that people have put in, I ban them from my channel immediately, because I mean, you don't get to talk to somebody who cares that much about being a part of what I do that way. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that is definitely really cool. So props to you, man. Okay, I gotta like get my daughter to bed here pretty soon because
Yeah, we spent a fair bit of your time here, brother.
well, it was hey man, I'm honored to have you on here. It's so much fun to actually finally talk to you in person. So for the people that don't know, I've been jumping onto his live streams just to get a little bit of perp time and just like talk to the man that's entertaining so many people. So thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate it. And
Oh, no, not a problem, man. Thanks for having me. You're just as awesome as I thought you'd be.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so bye, Mike, and everyone else. Have a real good night.